Welcome to No Apologies on Beck, where we are unafraid to speak the truth. I'm your host, Rick Becker, our co-host, Lori Hintz.
Hi there, that's me.
All right.
We've got an action-packed show for you once again tonight, so thank you for joining us. We have a guest who is from Emmons County, so I'm kind of excited about that. We are looking forward to hosting him.
Someone who has testicular fortitude, otherwise known as cojones.
Oh, I love that.
Cojones.
We also are going to take a little dive into the mailbag today, and we will finish things up with one of our famous off-the-cuffs. And what we do is we give him no prep, and we just throw stuff at him. So it's very, very fun. All right. Today, we are starting on another, if you recall previously, we have done a program.
Bongino.
We did a Bongino program where we talked about Dan Bongino. And what we figured we would do is we would give our viewers options, because this is a new world of media. You don't want to watch mainstream media. You can't watch mainstream media because it kind of makes your head explode after a while. And so you're looking for alternatives. So people come to us all the time. They come to me, I don't know if they do to you, and they're like, what should I watch and take as my news source? Well, Newsmax, OANN, there are some. Beck News Channel has a lot of really good information for you too, just a little plug there. But outside of those people, there are some pundits, and there are some radio announcers. There are some people that you can use, that you can go to, that you could be confident you're getting good, solid information and freedom and liberty. That's what you want. That's what you're going to look for. So that's why we thought we would.
Mark Levin is one of those people.
He is definitely one of those people.
I've been listening to him for years.
Yeah, me too. And he's so entertaining. If you've never heard of Mark Levin before, you maybe you've probably seen that he's a prolific author. You've probably seen his books in bookstores. You've probably heard about him. He's had a radio show. He's been on Fox News with Life, Liberty, and Levin. If you've never seen that, it's definitely worth watching. And the things you need to know about Mark Levin are that he is, first of all, a believer in freedom and spreading the conservative message. He's also a believer in making people get engaged, which is what I'm a believer in. Get engaged and get working on things in the society yourself as a citizen. So he likes to have citizenry take an active political role. Now, the thing about him that I like the most probably is that he does a style where he starts very quiet with his rants. And then he just, by the time he is done with his diatribe or monologue, it is full out yelling. And I just really enjoy that, because the more he gets engaged with it, the more fun it is for me to enjoy to watch.
Really, when I first started listening to him, it really struck me his high-pitched voice.
Right, like
and there was his high-pitched voice, and how he would do this name calling and personal attacks. I'm like, what? But what I like most about him is he's a constitutionalist.
Exactly.
He's brilliant with the Constitution. And as you mentioned, he has several books. Let's pull up some of these books. And very good author. Now, I'll tell you that I have read Liberty and Tyranny, Ameritopia, and the Liberty Amendments of these books. And all three are good, but I tell you, folks, if you're looking for something that's not really super dry reading, but is very helpful, both Liberty and Tyranny and Ameritopia, I strongly, strongly recommend. There's a lot of these books that are kind of superficial, trendy, topical. Those two books are really good. I recommend them.
Mark goes into history all the time. That's the part that I really, really like. He constantly pulls that back. On Freedom of the Press, I believe, is his latest one. That is the most recent one that he has done. And
I'm sure it's good.
Yeah, and he's a prolific. He also, I don't know if you remember this, but if you listen to the late Rush Limbaugh on the radio ever, he would call Levin by a name, and he had a little, like a pet name for him. He called him F. Lee Levin. After F. Lee Bailey. Yeah. So he called him F. Lee Levin. And he also has another nickname. He is called the Great One. Well, who Guess who called him the Great One? Sean Hannity nicknamed him the Great One. And that's when I think of the Great One, I think of Mark Levin.
Yeah, that really caught on.
It really did too. He's 73 years old. He's an American lawyer and author, radio personality. He's the host of syndicated radio show Mark Levin Show, as well as Life, Liberty, and Levin, like I said, on Fox News. He worked in the administration of President Ronald Reagan at one point and was chief of staff for Attorney General Edwin Meese. Remember Ed Meese? Mm-hmm. I'm old. I remember that. I pulled a clip to play for you today just to give you a feel for Mark Levin. This is from about 3 days ago, and no, he doesn't go off and get the high-pitched rant. He's fairly calm in this one. We'll take a look at.
I need to tell you about what's going on with your country. Rather than in some surface-level, superficial way, I want us to dive a little bit deeper tonight because it's very, very serious. First thing I want to do is remind you, Thomas Paine, December 23, 1776, he wrote a pamphlet called The Crisis. It was so powerful that George Washington read it to the troops because the morale was very low and we were losing the Revolutionary War. And it opens with, "These are the times that try men's souls. The summer soldier and the sunshine patriot will, in this crisis, shrink from the service of their country. But he that stands by it now deserves the love and thanks of man and woman. Tyranny, like hell, is not easily conquered. Yet we have this consolation with us, that the harder the conflict, the more glorious the triumph. What we obtain too cheap, we esteem too lightly. It is dearness only that gives us everything its value. Heaven knows how to put a proper price upon its goods, and it would be strange indeed if so celestial an article as freedom should not be highly rated." We don't talk much about freedom, let alone individual freedom and property rights and unalienable rights anymore. We don't really hear much reference by these politicians in the White House and in Congress about the Declaration of Independence, our founding document, because many of them reject it. Many of them abhor it. We're told there was a meeting in the White House earlier in the week with some so-called historians and Joe Biden, put together by John Meacham, who had been writing some of Biden's speeches without telling the American people as he was critiquing them on MSNBC. But he pulled a meeting together with a number of them, Besh Losh and others, and Biden wanted to know, and they wanted him to know, that he could and should go big, real big, that he has the potential to be bigger than FDR and LBJ and Barack Obama, three of the biggest spending, most expansive government presidents we've had in American history. I want you to keep something in mind. Our Constitution is intended to prevent this sort of thing. Go big, go fast, they're telling him. The Constitution says go slow and be deliberative.
Go slow and be deliberate. And that was very, very slow for him to do.
Well, his style on TV is very different than radio.
It is.
Radio, I mean, he's fully caffeinated on radio.
Agreed.
I want to hit a couple things.
Okay.
So there's something here with the Mark Levin lexicon.
Oh, excellent.
He calls people names all the time.
He does. He actually has good
I
names.
laugh,
They're
but
clever.
I'm like...
They're not very kind.
So I just picked out a few. New York Times, New York Slimes. Always
Right.
he says that.
Right.
Washington Post is the Washington Compost. The Associated Press is the Associated Deep Pressed. Rachel Maddow is Rachel Mad Cow. Hillary Rodham Clinton is Hillary Rotten Clinton.
Right.
And then he also does these personal attacks, which I feel
It's
a little uncomfortable,
iffy
but I still kind of giggle a little bit.
It's all in fun, I think.
Joe Biden is Plugs Biden because of his
Plugs,
hair
of
plugs.
course.
John Kerry is Mashed Potato Face.
Really? That one I've not heard.
Harry
I've heard
Reid
all of
is
the other
Harry
ones.
the
but-
Body Odor Reid. Barack Hussein Obama is Barack Milhouse No Obama. Al Sharpton is Al Nutso Sharpton. Oprah Winfrey is Oprah Windbag. George Clooney is George Looney. Moderate Republicans, he says this all the time, Republicans.
Right.
Very sophomoric, but I chuckle. I'm driving in my car.
He's very entertaining.
Michael Bloomberg is Michael Bloom Turd. The Department of Justice is the Department of Injustice, and the IRS is the IRSS.
If you've never heard of him before, look him up, find him online, and follow a little bit along with him.
It's worth it.
Mark
It's worth it.
Levin,
You won't be sorry.
Levin. All right, you will not be sorry. All right, when we come back, we will have a guest from Emmons County to talk to.
When you can't find answers to your recurring health challenges, it can feel like your health and your future are being held hostage. The Wellness Way is a network of health restoration clinics that think and act differently to solve the health challenges others can't. Here, we disrupt the standard approach to care through a combination of testing, individual plans, and one-on-one guidance, putting your health and your future where they belong, in your own hands.
40 years ago, Aero Service Team started with one truck and lots of hard work.
Times may have changed, but the hard work that we put in to get your lives back in order after fire, water, and disaster hasn't.
Over the years, we've seen so many families lose their belongings due to water and fire damage. Restoring homes back to the original state has made every hour of hard work well worth it.
Thank you for trusting our family with yours.
When disaster strikes, you only have to make one call. Aero Service Team does it all.
It's every American's right to bear arms. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we're here to help you support your Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Whether you're looking for a pistol for personal defense or collector gun, we have the staff to help you. We also have the area's largest inventory of ammo and reloading supplies.
Mandan Sporting Goods, the area's local gun and ammo specialists.
40 years ago, Aero Service Team started with one truck and lots of hard work.
Times may have changed, but the hard work that we put in to get your lives back in order after fire, water, and disaster hasn't.
Over the years, we've seen so many families lose their belongings due to water and fire damage. Restoring homes back to the original state has made every hour of hard work well worth it.
Thank you for trusting our family with yours.
When disaster strikes, you only have to make one call. Aero Service Team does it all.
Every great pizza has a secret. At New York To Go, that secret lies in our perfectly recreated New York water, the key ingredient to making our signature New York-style pizza. We also feature gyros, with the region's only gyro meat spit, plus Nathan's hot dogs, calzones, and our delicious jumbo buffalo wings. Try a 14-inch or our special giant 20-inch pizza tonight. You gotta know how to fold them if you want to hold them. New York To Go, we deliver for you.
Hey Bucks fans, if you're planning an outing, birthday, or employee appreciation night, then bring your group out to the Buck Stop for a night of fast-paced, high-scoring football. Your group will receive discounted tickets, options for reserved seating, scoreboard messages, VIP services, swag, and a space to gather during the game. You can also participate in pre-game ceremonies, halftime entertainment, in-game contests, and more. Call 701-595-0771 or visit bismarckbucks.com/tickets. All GA is first come, first serve. We'll see you on the turf. Go Bucks!
All right, we're back with No Apologies on Beck, and we have with us Erin Magrum, Emmons County Commissioner. Thank you for being on.
Thanks for having me.
If you recognize the name, yes, he's a Magrum. Jeff Magrum is your father.
He is.
It is. So he's in the legislature, and you're Emmons County Commissioner.
I am.
So for how long have you been an Emmons County Commissioner?
This is my first term. I was elected in the fall of 18, so.
Excellent.
It's been an interesting about 2.5 years or so.
Fall of 18. So how long is your term?
4 years. So I'm in the.
Okay, 19. So it's coming up next year.
So I'll be up for re-election next year. Yep.
Interesting.
Tell me about where Emmons County is for those who do not know.
Oh yes.
Emmons County is we border the Missouri River. I'm trying to think of the proper way to really describe it, but our entire county is bordered by the Missouri River on the west side, and then we are basically south of Burleigh County, southeast of Bismarck.
Got it.
And our county seat is Linton. A lot of people are familiar with that. Pretty popular sports programs and a lot of good hunting and fishing and good people.
It's
and
just so beautiful
it's a quiet little area. It's God's country.
It is. It's just gorgeous down there. So pretty.
Yep. So Erin, I'm working on a House Bill 1383, which would make it so that the state of North Dakota would be a Second Amendment preservation state. Meaning, when, I'm not going to say if anymore, when the federal government has excessively restrictive gun laws that exceed our state's gun laws, that we aren't going to enforce those. In my research, I pulled up a map and it shows all the states and all the counties that have similar statutes, resolutions, et cetera in place. North Dakota has 2 counties that have that in place. One is Stark. We just had Sheriff Corey Lee on a couple nights ago. And the other is Emmons. So that was kind of cool to see that. As I understand it, you had a very large part in that. Tell us about how it is that Emmons County sits on the map in the United States as being a place for Second Amendment preservation.
Well, it all started, I would say, I was trying to rethink this before I came on the show, but it would have been about the beginning of 2020. And Governor Northam in Virginia and a fair majority of the legislature, I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure it's mostly Democrat, was getting pretty aggressive with their Second Amendment infringements and deciding a lot of just things that most conservative people just don't agree with. And as I seen it unfold, I was wondering how it was going to land, what was going to happen. And I started hearing the term sanctuary county, and I thought, well, that's kind of interesting. So I just started Googling it like everybody does nowadays. And I believe all but about 4 counties actually, or 4 or 5, were not sanctuary counties, and those obviously were your metropolitan areas. Probably in favor of a lot of that stuff.
In Virginia.
In Virginia.
Yes.
But the rural areas really seem to be getting on board with the Second Amendment sanctuary. A lot of them were sheriffs and officials. It wasn't just, the people, it was actually folks in there. So that kind of spurred my imagination, and then the general attitude with North Dakota is, well, that won't happen here. That's for other places. That stuff doesn't happen here. And as we had talked about a little bit earlier was the 1537 bill from the 2019 legislature, which was called the Red Flag Bill.
Red Flag, yep.
And when you see that happening, you're going, wow, it's closer than we think. So I just kind of took it upon myself. I Googled sanctuary county resolutions. I found one from Carroll County, Virginia, which was a similar rural type conservative county in Virginia. And I found it on the internet, and I threw some Emmons County stuff where it said Carroll County, Virginia, and thought, I'm going to bring it forward to our sheriff and state's attorney and our commissioners and see if there's any appetite for it. And they were right on with me, which was awesome.
That's fantastic.
It was
I have a graphic made for your resolution. And there it is. I just pulled the segment that says that the Board of County Commissioners hereby expresses its intent to uphold the Second Amendment rights of the citizens of Emmons County and its intent that public funds of the county not be used to restrict Second Amendment rights or to aid in the unnecessary and unconstitutional restriction of the rights under the Second Amendment of the citizens of Emmons County to bear arms.
Fantastic.
I mean, how simple, how beautiful.
Yep.
I mean, I'm just, I think that's fantastic, truly fantastic.
Well, in Emmons, I was pretty nervous to bring it forward because, right away the first talk is, it's guns and it's edgy, and not everybody's, on board or whatever. But the basis of it is it's just a declaration of intent. Our intent as officials in Emmons County was we support the Second Amendment. The folks that live in Emmons County support it. It really went over really well with everybody, and actually it started to get a lot of attention even outside Emmons County. The news came down, and they tried to make a bigger deal out of it, maybe I thought, than in certain aspects. Tried making it sound like we were trying to be exclusionary or difficult, when all we were trying to do was, my intent was to spur people like yourself, like people in the legislature, to go, wow, there's folks out there that really do support this stuff, and maybe galvanize the will up at the Capitol and other places to just kind of defend the Second.
It's so great that you had support from your sheriff as well. I mean,
that makes a big difference.
He was actually the first person I went to, because I thought it's going to sink or swim if he's for it or against it, because it affects him more than anyone, just with the overall outlook of law enforcement and the Second Amendment. And he was very supportive. He just wanted to make sure, he's like, we still have laws. Like, of course, the laws are laws, but in the end, the Second Amendment has to get defended, and he believes that wholeheartedly. And
what's the biggest town in Emmons County?
Linton.
Linton. Now, I'm going to ask a stupid question. Does Linton have its own police force?
Linton City does not. It used to, but now actually our sheriff is the only law enforcement in the entire county. Yep.
Okay. If it still had its own police force, I was going to ask if they were also on board. But interestingly, the red flag, I always like to point out, because it's too cool to not point out, the red flag bill in 2019. And I got up, I had the privilege of being the bill carrier, which means you present it to the legislature to say this is what it's about, and we recommended a do not pass, and I tried to just stomp on it. And the vote was 17 to 76.
Oh, I
1776.
love that. You will never forget that,
No,
will you?
I will
That's
never.
so great.
That was awesome.
For those people who do not understand red flag laws, too, by the way, because there are those who do not know what red flag laws are. They will allow law enforcement essentially to come in after someone has accused you of something and take your guns away without due process.
Well, and not necessarily even accuse you of a crime, but
Right.
accuse you of mental
anything.
instability. And it includes your ex-spouse. It includes the son of your ex-spouse. I mean, it includes all sorts of people that probably shouldn't be commenting on your mental fitness.
Right.
So yeah, it was a good
Well,
thing
it's
that
essentially
died.
kind of a
gun grab.
You could align it with a lot of other troubles you have with certain things where it's an accusation, and they're going to punish you for a little bit till they figure out what the right thing to do.
Exactly right, until we find out what's
depending on who's making the accusation or anything. I mean, you could even argue now with the difference in presidents, the view of the Second Amendment and everything,
Exactly.
where Donald Trump was probably like, well, let them keep their guns till we figure out what's wrong. Where now Biden's more like, well, we're going to take them no matter what.
Exactly.
And then maybe if you deserve them back, we might give you some. Or,
That's a
the
great
overall tone has kind of changed, and that was the reason why I felt Emmons County should get on board with it, because we did this when Donald Trump was president. It had nothing to do with presidencies. It had nothing to do with who's in the governor's spot, legislature, anything at the moment. I just
If it's
felt
a good
like
idea,
when you
it's a
see
good
it,
idea.
right?
Yep.
Absolutely.
Timeless.
Politically speaking, in Emmons County, 1 out of 10, how good was this for you politically? And I know you didn't do it for political reasons. I'm not saying that.
You did it because it was the right thing.
What I'm asking, basically, it's a litmus test on how the people in your county feel about it. So
Right.
do you think it was...
I didn't get yelled at by anybody.
Well, that's better than I do.
I kind of, I've been blessed with, my father, Jeff, obviously, he was on the county commission before he became a legislator. And, he's not a finely tuned politician. Neither of us are. We're plumbers. We have a plumbing business. But the one thing that we always kind of said was, if you do the right thing and the people think you're doing the right thing or believe you're doing the right thing, then politics and getting reelected and all that really should be easy. Because if you're doing the right thing and the people are behind you.
Yep.
So a lot of the decisions that I try and make, whether it's this or even just some of the smaller decisions, I do ask for input from people, and I tend to try and do things more on if I think it's right or wrong. And if people don't agree with it, they'll vote me out. And if they like what's going on, they'll put me back in.
Amen to that.
And that's kind of
may not be a finely tuned politician, but he is an honest man, and I respect him very much for that.
Our business has hardened us when it comes to things like emergencies and having to be there on the spot. And I told my wife when I was dating her one time, she said, what is it about your family? You guys don't seem to blink when things get tough. And I just kind of coined the phrase, when things are at their worst, the Magrums are at their best. And that's kind of always been, Dad's not going to be the smooth talking, leading politician on something, but when you need him to fight masks, or when you need him for pro-life, or you need him for the Second Amendment, he's there. And I kind of be right there with him.
I love that about your family.
Good.
Can we hold you over for another segment here?
Absolutely.
Okay,
I'll stay as long as you need.
All right. When we come back, we'll talk about some other things like maybe even your father.
Yeah, like we haven't talked about him already.
When you can't find answers to your recurring health challenges, it can feel like your health and your future are being held hostage. The Wellness Way is a network of health restoration clinics that think and act differently to solve the health challenges others can't. Here, we disrupt the standard approach to care through a combination of testing, individual plans, and one-on-one guidance, putting your health and your future where they belong, in your own hands.
40 years ago, Aero Service Team started with one truck and lots of hard work.
Times may have changed, but the hard work that we put in to get your lives back in order after fire, water, and disaster hasn't.
Over the years, we've seen so many families lose their belongings due to water and fire damage. Restoring homes back to the original state has made every hour of hard work well worth it.
Thank you for trusting our family with yours.
When disaster strikes, you only have to make one call. Aero Service Team does it all.
We're the ladies of Another View, bringing you a fresh view on local issues.
Thank you for your patience and understanding.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that the most condescending, rude email you've ever received?
Well, welcome to
National
the third
news.
term of a certain president. I really believe that.
And different perspectives you won't get on the mainstream media. Watch us weekday afternoons at 4:30 Central Time on Beck News and at beck.news.
40 years ago, Aero Service Team started with one truck and lots of hard work.
Times may have changed, but the hard work that we put in to get your lives back in order after fire, water, and disaster hasn't.
Over the years, we've seen so many families lose their belongings due to water and fire damage. Restoring homes back to the original state has made every hour of hard work well worth it.
Thank you for trusting our family with yours.
When disaster strikes, you only have to make one call. Aero Service Team does it all.
Every great pizza has a secret. At New York To Go, that secret lies in our perfectly recreated New York water, the key ingredient to making our signature New York-style pizza. We also feature gyros, with the region's only gyro meat spit, plus Nathan's hot dogs, calzones, and our delicious jumbo buffalo wings. Try a 14-inch or our special giant 20-inch pizza tonight. You gotta know how to fold them if you want to hold them. New York To Go, we deliver for you.
It's every American's right to bear arms. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we're here to help you support your Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Whether you're looking for a pistol for personal defense or collector gun, we have the staff to help you. We also have the area's largest inventory of ammo and reloading supplies.
Mandan Sporting Goods, the area's local gun and ammo specialists.
All right, you're back. It's No Apologies on Beck, your after-hours oasis of sanity. And we have with us Erin Magrum, Emmons County Commissioner.
Just an extra heaping spoonful of sanity tonight.
A spoonful. Okay, I've got a question for you, now that I pulled up a map. Okay, Emmons County,
yes,
Linton, versus Logan County, Napoleon, and McIntosh County, Ashley. Where is the best Coogan?
You know, that's kind of
that's
tough to say. You can get, what is the saying, like in down south, you can get good barbecue at the gas station. We can probably get good Coogan anywhere. I mean, it's pretty tough. It's just kind of like our sausage. Wishick is legendary for it, but you can get good sausage in Napoleon and Linton too. So it's
so the whole triangle's good. You're not gonna lay claim
once you get
to
south
fame.
of Interstate, if you're looking for German food, that's the place to get it. Where that's
he's not wrong.
No, it's tough to beat.
All right, so
doesn't look like
sausage.
we're starving down there.
Wait, what kind of sausage?
Just about any kind.
Really? Okay. I made for the second year in a row, my deer sausage is habanero pineapple.
Oh.
So good. So good. I'll make some and sell it down there along with the other stuff.
My wife's cousin runs Shares Meats out of Linton, and he's got some pretty good sausage
Is that right?
too. Yeah.
Oh, I might have to try it out. I love sausage.
Gotta
What
punch
you
the
got
family
there in your hand?
I have a little gift here. Some friends of mine that I was telling I was going to be on the show to, they just think this book is the greatest, and they thought you would really get a kick out of it.
Okay.
So it's called Reasons to Vote for Democrats.
Reasons to Vote for Democrats,
Really?
a comprehensive guide.
Is it
Michael Knowles.
Oh, it's Michael Knowles.
Michael Knowles. He's a radio guy, right?
Yeah, he
Podcaster?
has been. He's also podcasts, and yeah, he does.
Ben Shapiro says thorough. Dennis Prager. I love Dennis Prager.
I do too.
We should do a thing on Dennis
I agree.
Prager.
Okay, got it.
I read it twice.
I'm writing it down.
Yeah, you should just go in and look at a page or two or something like that. It's pretty neat how it.
Contents, civil rights, foreign policy, and reasons to vote for Democrats.
It's actually inspired me. I think I might actually write a similar book called Reasons to Listen to Joel or Heidi Heitkamp.
Oh, okay. Oh, boom. Oh, got it.
I had to.
Well, this is a wonderful book,
That's
and
fun.
I will probably read it 3 times, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it's once you get it, it's tough to put down.
Oh my gosh.
If Dennis Prager read it twice, I'm reading it 3 times.
When we went into the break, we were kind of talking about your dad a little bit and how he has influenced you and the decisions you've made too. He's a pretty special human being, but you also have a goal of getting more young people involved, and you are a young person. You're a pretty young county commissioner.
Hey, don't judge me by my hairline. I'm younger than I look. Yeah, when I was, first elected, I'm trying to think the math, I was 33. And yeah, well, actually, to start it off, I was appointed to the Emmons County Water Board first before I was county commissioner. And so I was, I think, even 28 or 29 at that time. And every time I've gotten involved with the county government so far, I'm 30, 40 years younger than everybody in the room. Which right away, the first thought is this young guy coming in, but I feel like the exciting part is I tend to ask questions and maybe bring a little more energy to the room. And it seems like after a while, other people seem to be energized by it. And things they've always thought they've done, they start to look at it just because I'm like, well, how can we do that? Well, we've always done that for a while.
Don't question it.
Well, it's
what we've always done.
Maybe not so much an arrogance, but maybe a complacency. Something always worked. That's the way they've always done it. And then someone new comes in and goes, well, why don't we do it this way? And you're going, I never really thought. And
it's human nature to get comfortable.
Right, and that's
get comfortable.
I do have an opinion on young people getting involved in politics, especially with my dad getting involved in the legislature and following you and others. You see a lot of young folks, you run into them, they're like, oh, I'm going to run for state in my district, and that's exciting. That's good to be involved, but I really hope they don't overlook the city, the county.
Right.
Your school boards are very important. Even if you don't have children, but your park boards even. It's good to.
Agreed.
I enjoyed being on the water board right away. I learned parliamentary procedure. It wasn't a very public thing. It's all public minutes.
Right, but it's
people
less
aren't
attended.
Focused on it. So I kind of got a chance to really kind of grow in it. And so when I decided to run for county, it was a lot less intimidating because I felt like I was fairly prepared. And I think I was, but you learn stuff all the time.
Yeah, I think you have hit on something that's really important that I want to sort of expand on for our viewers. Interestingly, I think that the people that have the most impact on your lives, it's inversely proportional to the people that you pay most attention to.
Agreed.
When it comes to campaigns and voting. The people that have the most impact on your lives are, as you said, Erin, the city commissioners, the county commissioners, the park board people, the school board people. I mean, that's where it's at. Every single day they're making decisions that will affect you. And then it goes to state legislature. And yes, they also affect you. But not to such a personal degree. And then you go up to Senate, U.S. Congress, and they're the ones everyone pays attention to. The president, everyone pays attention to. They impact you the least amount. So I agree with you. If you do have an interest in trying to make change for the better and have an impact on your world and on the world for your children, grandchildren, it's a great place to go. More local, keep it local, and then learn. And if you want to move on from there after you've had a positive impact on city or county, go with it. Go with state legislature and take your experience, have a positive impact there. And if you want to be president, be president. But I want to reinforce it's critical. For some reason, I think that there's a tendency for people that are in, especially city commissions, to be more progressive, because they're interested in spending money and what good they can do. So it's not a dig. It's not a dig, but it's just the nature of things. If you're like, hey, I've got good ways to spend people's money, then you run for office. But just think about if people running for city commissions across the state were thinking about, hey, I've got a good way to save people's money, how different things would be.
Well, and that's where, Freedom Friday on KFYR, the radio, I love listening to them on Friday too. And I called in one day, I don't remember who was on, it was Cody Shue and Todd Mitchell then, but I called in because a common phrase is always, I don't like politics. I don't follow politics. They talk about it like it's a hobby. When there is a difference, what I like to say, which is, it's not my phrase or anything, but there's a difference between politics and governance. Some people say they don't pay attention to politics. Well, then they don't seem to pay attention to who their officials are, how their taxes are being spent. That's not politics. Politics is trying to fix a road somewhere only for the reason of it's going to get you votes. You don't really care about the road, and that has its place. It's not like it's all bad, but lack of paying attention to your governance. I mean, even on the county side, you want to talk property taxes, or you want to talk about, the conditions of your infrastructure locally. Your county commissioners touch that long before your legislators.
Absolutely.
And you guys kind of have a little more of a shotgun type scenario because, well, I mean, just because you can't, I mean, as a state legislator, you maybe can't focus on a road in Emmons County. I can, you know, that's my job. And I only need to convince 1 or 2 other people, and we can fix a road in Emmons County. So
you're closest to the people.
So good, so good. Great stuff, Erin. Thanks so much for coming in today.
Absolutely, thanks for having me.
Very much appreciate having you. Thank you.
When we come back, we are going to take a little peek in the mailbag, so stay with us.
Today's households have more digital devices than ever before. More links to family, business, education, and entertainment. Beck Communications spent over 10 years building North Dakota's fastest fiber optic internet service. Beck Lightband Internet, outpacing speeds in large cities nationwide. Lightband Internet handles all your digital needs without throttling your connection to the world. Beck Communications, valuable digital connections in rural North Dakota.
Watch No Filter with me, Debbie Schlussel, for no-nonsense, unfiltered analysis of the news that matters to you. You'll see engaging guests.
It began a 444-day nightmare.
Entertaining analysis, and it has everything to do with something that happened in history. And honest movie reviews. Trust me, this is just atrocious. No Filter with Debbie, weeknights at 10 p.m. Central on Beck News and online at beck.news.
Every great pizza has a secret. At New York To Go, that secret lies in our perfectly recreated New York water, the key ingredient to making our signature New York-style pizza. We also feature gyros, with the region's only gyro meat spit, plus Nathan's Hot Dogs, calzones, and our delicious jumbo buffalo wings. Try a 14-inch or our special giant 20-inch pizza tonight. You gotta know how to pull them if you want to hold them. New York To Go. We deliver for you.
It's every American's right to bear arms. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we're here to help you support your Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Whether you're looking for a pistol for personal defense or collector gun, we have the staff to help you. We also have the area's largest inventory of ammo and reloading supplies.
Mandan Sporting Goods, the area's local gun and ammo specialists.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and as you know, my passion is to help each and every one of you get the best sleep of your life. That's why I created my new Giza Dreams bed sheets. I started by using the world's best cotton called Giza. It's only grown in a region between the Sahara Desert, the Mediterranean Sea, and the Nile River. It's ultra soft and breathable, but extremely durable. My Giza sheets also include full 21-inch wide pillowcases that will fit over any pillow and deep pocket sheets that will fit over any mattress. The first night you sleep on my sheets, you'll never want to sleep on anything else.
Go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen right now to get your very own MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets. Giza Dream Sheets are available in a variety of colors. Use your promo code, and for a limited time, when you buy one set of sheets, you'll get another set absolutely free.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.
All right. We're back, and it is, no apologies,
I'm back.
It's still on Beck.
And it is mailbag time, so we're going to delve into the first one we have is an email that somebody sent to our no apologies address, and this is what it says. OMG, how can I get a copy of the Jen P. Psaki video that was on tonight's show? It was great. Just an opinion that you could omit the brain food segment, and I don't think anyone would care. It would give you more time to discuss the good stuff, just saying. So thank you very much. Marcia, let me just tell you that we do have to kind of do brain food occasionally just so that our brains don't explode with all the good stuff, because, and honestly, sometimes it's kind of heavy stuff too. So brain food allows the very venerable host over here and I to not lose our minds completely. So
venerable,
yeah,
is that going to be your next vocab word?
That's going to be another word I'm going to put in there.
So
I had to use it.
That could be our question on social media. Should we
keep
it or get rid of it? I like it, but if people don't like it.
But if people don't like it, you know, We do. We'll listen to you, believe me. But thank you very much.
Unlike being a legislator, I will do what you want me to do for the show.
For the show. It's
Legislator,
I
am not going to do what you want me to do.
No, we do appreciate you emailing us. That was very nice. And we'll have to say, I will have to email you the link to the video because I think that would be very fun for you to just enjoy. All right, moving on. This next one. This was a question that we just asked a few days ago now on our Facebook page for No Apologies. How does one balance liberty, security, and safety? And we've been getting a couple of really interesting ones. I thought these were all very good. If you sacrifice your freedom for safety, you'll have neither. I have a feeling that's not the first time somebody has said that. I believe
it's a Ben Franklin quote.
It's a Franklin quote. Walk tall and carry a big stick. Another predominant, I think that was
Is
Teddy.
that Roosevelt?
I think it was Teddy Roosevelt who said that one. And easy. This is my personal favorite one. Follow the words in our Bill of Rights and Constitution. And I'm just going to put in a plug for words mean things. I say that all the time. Words mean things, unless they are in an executive order from the Biden administration, in which case they do not mean anything.
I think it's not that I don't have that I have a problem with walk tall and carry a big stick, but I think that the quote was something on the order of speak softly
and carry a big stick. Are right. You are correct. You are right. That was a little
walk tall. That's I think a show from
Walking
the
Tall.
80s
Walking Tall.
or late 70s, right?
Got it. All right. We do have another one that we can show. This one, Rick says 1984 is here. Do you agree? Yes, it is. And I love this. This is obviously a bumper sticker, and they were very kind to take the little eraser tool and take the license off of there. But it looks like a North Dakota plate, make Orwell fiction again. That is fantastic, and I love that bumper sticker.
I have a T-shirt that says
that. Do you?
Yeah. Young Americans for Liberty made a bunch of T-shirts. I told them they should copyright it and they should put it up online because they would sell a ton.
A ton of them.
They didn't. Someone else did.
And somebody made a ton. Yeah, that figures.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you very much for all of you who answer on these queries that we put on our Facebook page as well, too. So we have one more, and this one. Do you support an initial measure to...
Initiated.
I'm sorry, my bad. Initiated measure to legalize recreational marijuana. And this was also just done a couple of days ago as well. Now, I've been kind of keeping track of how the yays and the nays go on this. And it's been basically 2-to-1. Can you guess which way 2-to-1?
I can't guess because I would have guessed that they were about equal. So 2-to-1.
It's been 2-to-1 no to yes, which is really interesting because we have very enlightened viewers. So
what are you saying?
I'm just saying I thought it was very interesting that, and it's been consistent that way. I mean, it was, smaller numbers, it was still 2-to-1, and larger numbers, it was still 2-to-1. So I think we've had 35 people who have weighed in, and of them, it was 12-to-23.
Interesting. Well, not that it matters to me at all, but I'll give my last pitch that if someone is smoking marijuana, it doesn't affect you, let them be. Jefferson said something about if it neither breaks my leg nor picks my pocket, what matter is it to me?
Oh, interesting.
Now, he was referring to religion, but you could apply it to marijuana.
Easy leap.
It's a great quote.
It is a great quote. You were exactly right. Now I'm going to put my pitch
Clay
in.
Jenkinson, where are you, Clay?
Right?
I just
when you
quoted
need him.
Jefferson.
That's right.
He'd give me a kiss on the cheek right now.
I'm going to give a little pitch here. If you guys could put up on the screen how they can get in touch with us, you can email us at noapologies@becknews.com. Thanks, fellas. And also you can find us on Facebook. You can watch episodes anytime as they have it on there too. But you know what? We love the interaction. We do mailbag. We'll talk about what you say to us on television. And so it's kind of cool to get your comment on television too. So thank you very much.
True story. True
All right.
story.
So when we come back, we are going to do an off the cuff. And off the cuff is so fun. Can't wait. Join us in a bit.
When you can't find answers to your recurring health challenges, it can feel like your health and your future are being held hostage. The Wellness Way is a network of health restoration clinics that think and act differently to solve the health challenges others can't. Here, we disrupt the standard approach to care through a combination of testing, individual plans, and one-on-one guidance, putting your health and your future where they belong, in your own hands.
40 years ago, Aero Service Team started with one truck and lots of hard work.
Times may have changed, but the hard work that we put in to get your lives back in order after fire, water, and disaster hasn't.
Over the years, we've seen so many families lose their belongings due to water and fire damage. Restoring homes back to the original state has made every hour of hard work well worth it.
Thank you for trusting our family with yours.
When disaster strikes, you only have to make one call. Aero Service Team does it all.
Big shout out to North Dakota and Beck News, where you can watch the Dr. Duke Show each weekday at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time.
North Dakota is one of the last bastions of sanity in our republic. The legislature consistently passes pro-life and family legislation. This session, North Dakota legislature is trying to thwart efforts to allow boys to say they are girls and play on girls' sports teams. Go North Dakota.
And thanks for carrying the Dr. Duke Show on Beck TV.
40 years ago, Aero Service Team started with one truck and lots of hard work.
Times may have changed, but the hard work that we put in to get your lives back in order after fire, water, and disaster hasn't.
Over the years, we've seen so many families lose their belongings due to water and fire damage. Restoring homes back to the original state has made every hour of hard work well worth it.
Thank you for trusting our family with yours.
When disaster strikes, you only have to make one call. Aero Service Team does it all.
Every great pizza has a secret. At New York To Go, that secret lies in our perfectly recreated New York water, the key ingredient to making our signature New York-style pizza. We also feature gyros, with the region's only gyro meat spit, plus Nathan's hot dogs, calzones, and our delicious jumbo buffalo wings. Try a 14-inch or our special giant 20-inch pizza tonight. You gotta know how to fold them if you want to hold them. New York To Go, we deliver for you.
It's every American's right to bear arms. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we're here to help you support your Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Whether you're looking for a pistol for personal defense or collector gun, we have the staff to help you. We also have the area's largest inventory of ammo and reloading supplies.
Mandan Sporting Goods, the area's local gun and ammo specialists.
All right. It is No Apologies on Beck, and we are at segment 5. You made it almost all the way through. This is the best part, according to me.
It is, and me too. It's my favorite too. I really enjoy it because it's interesting to go through and look at, the latest things going on in the culture in the last week, and I like to pull those up. So the premise of Off the Cuff here on No Apologies with Becker is that he has no idea what we're talking about. We don't show him any graphics in advance. We don't play any clips where he has no idea what the topics are going to be. So it's your take on what the story is of the day.
And I like it because it's just an idea of like, okay, in an unprepared environment, somebody who claims to believe in principles of liberty, what do they say when it's not a staged situation?
Exactly.
And can someone who believes in those things stand up to the scrutiny of being able to just go with it because they are confident in those principles?
Well, that's your superpower. It's your superpower. All right, my first story today just happened a couple days ago. Apparently, former Senator Heidi Heitkamp decided that she was going to go after a woman named Gina Carano. And if you may know Gina Carano, you heard about this? Well, she went after her verbally on a television show, and Gina Carano was on The Mandalorian and got ousted, I should say, because of her, quote, conservative comments on this. And I have a video clip so you can see what former Senator Heidi Heitkamp had to say.
I like this picture. Who was the woman in the Mandalorian? What did she do? She liked something?
She was a Nazi.
Oh, that's different,
Yeah.
right? I'm thinking of somebody else. Well, she's not a Nazi.
She's a white. She's
See, look at
involved
that.
with white
You're calling her in that.
She's called other people Nazis.
Right,
So
which
she's
is
the Nazi.
Okay, everyone's a Nazi now.
Yeah. She does hang with white supremacists.
It's like a Mel Brooks
She does?
movie.
Yeah.
Hangs with white.
I suppose I'm now subject to defamation.
I don't know. I mean, it depends on what your definition of white supremacist is. That also, the goalpost there changed a lot. Used to be a guy in a Klan hood who.
But I think we have to be really careful. There's two things the Republicans think they're going to get Biden on: cancel culture and this whole Dr. Seuss stuff that's going on, where they're reading Green Eggs and Ham, proving that some of these senators can actually read, and immigration. And so we can't ignore the fact that we got Donald Trump was in part because of political correctness.
She said we got Donald Trump because of, in part, by political correctness. I really, honestly, truly didn't even understand what that meant when she said that. But she was pretty harsh in her comments here, and I thought it was worth at least seeing that. Bill Maher, Maher, I don't watch him, obviously, on purpose. But after the video, I looked at that video again, and I thought, I have some questions. First of all, what is her intent with this? Is she attempting to get her name into the press so that she is on the Biden administration's radar for some sort of a position, for a job in Washington, D.C.? Is she purposely upping her exposure for some reason? Because those were pretty inflammatory things to say to her, somebody who didn't do anything to her. So I'm just wondering if you can surmise. Nobody can surmise somebody else's intent, but what is your best guess?
I don't know if this is playing into longer-term plans for her, but she's clearly playing to what she believes is her audience. She's pandering to the audience, making outlandish statements. And I find it interesting that Bill Maher is not fully buying into it. He's pushing back.
Everybody's a Nazi now, he says.
He's pushing back, but yet Heidi's doubling down on these claims. Now, Bill Maher makes me so angry because he's smart, he gets it, but yet he comes so often to these conclusions which are so wrong. But yet you can see he gets it because he has these
flashes and moments of
Thank you.
Yep.
And I think here he's pushing back. He's saying moving the goalpost, and he's exactly right. What does white supremacy mean? Well, gosh, Heidi, it could mean anything now. Basically, it means anyone that you disagree with, which she is sort of giving an example of. And then she's ridiculing senators, which are her former colleagues. Naturally, what she's referring to is the Republican senators. Right. So I think that it was, I mean, I'm not going to go after her too hard on it. I think it was a little bit beneath her. She's playing to it. I mean, sometimes I've done the same thing. You know, you're playing, you get into it. However, the comment about the PC movement brought Donald Trump in. I agree with her.
You do. Explain that.
Okay. The PC movement is shutting down people's expression, shutting down people's voice.
I see. So
and
there's
the
a
PC
backlash
movement,
to that.
Right. The weird thing is that Heidi recognized that. She said a statement that I fully believe in, but yet she's promulgating that. She is doing exactly what she's saying that the left did to bring Donald Trump in. I credit the left with Donald Trump's victory in 2016. People were being shut down. If you had a dissenting or differing opinion, you were shut down as racist and homophobic and misogynist and xenophobic, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. She's exactly right, but she's not. It's not clicking with her to say, "Hey, maybe I could rise above this."
Right. Interesting stuff. Well, I just thought it would be worth getting your take on it. So well done. The next story I have is a Fox Business News story, and this is one that you may have seen also. By Bismarck, 144 cities could lose status as metro areas. They have named Bismarck as one of a micropolitan city designation cities, meaning losing federal funding. So you maybe have seen this story before. Maybe you haven't. I don't know if you've seen this before.
I caught if you want to say a glimpse, but or maybe an auditory glimpse, whatever that might be. Something about losing a metro status. It didn't catch my attention enough to want to read into it more. Whatever this situation is, it's crazy to me. This goes again to if I was king of America, we would send less money to the federal government, and we would stop all programs in which the federal government sent money back to the states and the cities with all of their strings tied to all of the programs.
Right.
Who gives a crap how many people live in Bismarck and whether the federal government says it's a micropolitan, another stupid name that the leftists
means
make
nothing.
up. It doesn't mean anything, or a metropolitan. Who cares? Why would that have an effect on how much money the kingdom of the leftists send back of our hard-earned money that we already sent them? They take their cut for their inefficient bureaucracies, send it back to us and say, hey, you can have this, but you have to do all of these other things. There's all sorts of strings tied to it in transportation, in your judiciary, in every regulation you have to follow all these things or you don't get this money. No thanks. Keep your damn money. We're a micropolitan. I don't care.
I love
don't
that
care.
too. My question to you, and I never even got to it, was do mid-sized towns need protection? I mean, it makes no sense to me. But Senator Kramer did a recent announcement regarding it as well, and he put out a press release about the same thing too, pushing back and saying, he said, Senator Kramer joins bipartisan efforts to end OMB proposal threatening North Dakota cities.
Right. See, Kramer's working within the framework he has to say, okay, this is in place, so we're going to try and stop them from changing Bismarck from a metropolitan area. I mean, gosh, I wish we could be more, I don't know, see a bigger picture where we say, okay, forget that. Let's stop sending money back. Let's lower the tax rate, the income tax rate, cut it in half, stop sending money to the federal government, and have all the states say, we don't need any money back because our citizens got to keep it. We don't want it back from you. We don't want your strings. We don't want your rules. We don't want you involved. We don't want you at all, unless there's a foreign army invading our country and just to print money and the things that it says you should do in the Constitution, which are very, very few.
Excellent. Off the cuff, people, thank you very much for watching. Next time, we're going to be off for a couple of days, but we'll be back again sometime next week. And when we do, we'll have another great show.
I don't know if you're getting the best of or the worst of, but you're going to get something.
Bye.